Assalamualaikum. Good morning or good evening to the lecture. So my name is Muhammad Muklis bin Muhammad Faris Helmi. I'm from the section 6 for the network and communication. So today I'm gonna explain uh my work on the lab for the WireShark. So here I'm gonna explain how I get it and how I do it for the lab. So here is my answer.
Okay, now for my first question here is it it asks, is your browser running HTTP version 0.1? So here we can see that what version is my HTTP running. If I go to the WireShark, yeah, I click here, and then we can find the version for the HTTP here. So here the request version is HTTP 1.1. So here's the my answer here. I also wrote it as the version 1.1 for my question based HTTP GET. So let's go for the question 2. For question, what language does my browser indicate here? So same here, we can see the language is at the here, at the hyper HTTP. So the accept language is English US. So that is where I got the answer for the question 2. And then for the IP address of my computer and the Gaia CSUMS edu server, this is my from the WireShark. We can see that this is my computer IP address, and this the Gaia IP address. So I just wrote it here. So this is how I got my IP address. Let's go for the question 4. Okay, for the question 4, what is the testicle return from the server to your browser? So for this server, the static codes return is 404, which means it is not found for the server here. So basically, the status code is 404 and the response is not found. That is for the question answer for question 4. And then for the question 5, when was the HTML file that you are retrieving last modified at the server? So this here we're gonna see at the time here. So we're gonna go to the here. We can see that times its request is 0.336 again. So basically this from my previous what we call the WireShark packet. So I got it as a 0.273 second ago. If you see here, that is for the question number 5. And for the question 6, how many byte of content are being written? So we can see that this is the content of byte is written to my browser, about 209 bytes. And for question 7, if by investing the raw data in the packet counter window, do you see any header within the data that are not displayed in the packet list window? So from my WireShark, I don't see any other kind of header within the data display in the packet listing window. Okay, that is for the question 1. Then we're gonna go to the question part 2 question here. Okay, for the part 2 question, the first question is asked uh, inspect the content for the HTTP GET request from your browser to the server. Do you see even if I HTTP GET? So first I'm gonna check here. We check, we cannot see any kind of the if modify since line here, and then here we also didn't see any of that, and here this is the third one. So for the first and second we don't see. For the question 8, do you see inline in the check? So for the first HTTP get, we don't get for the if sign modify line. And then we go to the question 9, inspect the content of the server response. Did the server return the content of the file? So here we're gonna go to the response here, and we're gonna see if the server respond to the that. So if we click here, we can see that this is the what we call the like the file in the server here. So which mean that For the question 9, yes, the server returned the content of the file because the test tools code is 200 here. We can see 200 and the response price. Okay, so that's mean that the server returned the content of the file. For the question 10, now inspect the content of the second HTTP GET request from your browser to the server. Do you see this line? So we're gonna go to the second. We look here. Uh, we still doesn't find the what we call for the question 10. We still doesn't see the if modified lines here. So for the question, oh, so sorry, for the question 10. Do you see for the question? Yes, that is the line. If you see here, this is the line for the HTTP get second here, because so sorry, for the this one it's not the server that we want for the HTTP get favicon.ico, so this is not the one. So this is the second get. So here we can see here the if modified since. So the date here is different because I forgot to save my file for this WireShark here. So I just used to display it here. So we can see that there is the line and the information is the date here. And then for the question 11, what is the HTTP status code and place returned from the server in response to the second HTTP get? Did the server actually return the content of the file? Explain. Okay, for question 7, if you can see here, the status code is 304, which means that it's not modified and the response rate is not modified here. So from what this mean, that is mean that the server still return the file because the praise mean that nothing changed to the file and it still receive it still receives the same file, here. So this mean that the server still receive the file because there is nothing changed to the file. So that is for the question 7. Okay, now we go to the part 3, retrieving long document. Okay, here for the first question, it how many HTTP GET request messages did your browser send? So here we can see that we get 2 HTTP GET message. So for my answer, so sorry, we got 2 HTTP GET request message from browser. So for the packet that contain the message field of that is the packet 31. So this is this from because I didn't save it. So here we can see that in the wire packet 31 here, there is the content message of bill of the right here. So that is the answer for the question 12. Now we go to the question 13. Which packet number in the trace contain the status code and the preset which the respond to the HTTP GET request? So in the packet 31 we can see that the static code here. The status code is 200 and the response place is okay. So it contained in the packet 31. For the question 14, what is the status code and place in the response? So for the response one, it's the same as I just explained. This is the place and the status code for it. And then for the question 15, how many data and HTTP segments were needed to carry the single HTTP response and the text of the field right? So if we click here, if we click here, this is the TCP fragment here. So basically, 4,861 byte of data needed for the 4 TCP segments. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, and each segment have 1,452, 1,452, 1,452, and 505 byte each of the TCP segment. So that is for the question 15. Okay, now we're gonna go to the part 4 of the lab. Okay, so for the part 4 here, okay, this is the HTTP that I get for the part 4. So it the question is, how many HTTP GET request message did your browser send? To which internet address were this GET request sent? So my answer is I got 4 HTTP GET. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is okay. So I got 4 HTTP GET message GET request message sent. So here basically we can see it here 4. And then the internet address GET request sent is to the here we can see 128.119.245.12. This is the internet address get request sent to. So basically for the question number 16. Okay, now we go to the question 17. Can you tell whether your browser download the two images serially or whether they were downloaded from the two websites in parallel? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna show the how the page looks. So here we can see that this is the first embedded image and this is second. So basically uh, the the image is the image I explain here. The browser download the two image from the two website in parallel because each image is embedded in different location. So that what in parallel, which is display the person image first, then the book cover image second. So basically, if you can see here, this person image is uh, get from the Gaia CS UMS server website, and for the cover page is get from the here the www server site.cs.ums. So basically it's from the different server. That's why it is download by parallel. Oh, so that's explained for the question 17. Now we go to the last part, that is part 5. Okay. Okay, for the part 5 basically is about the HTTP authentication, which we need to input the username and password. So this is the HTTP GET here. So basically it's about like a security and authentication here. So for the 18 question, for the question 18, what is the server response status code and phrase in response to the initial HTTP GET message? So this is the first HTTP GET. So we're gonna see the response here. So here we're gonna respond here. So sorry, this is the response one. So we can see here. So for the response, we can see that the status code is 401 and the response is unauthorized. So basically here the unauthorized, we can see here that for the question 18. So when your browser send the get message for the second time, what the info is include the HTTP get message. So for the second HTTP get message, we can see that uh, this this is the new field included in the HTTP get message. So here you can see that the new SPC basically it means that the user already input the username and the password, so that's why it include this authorization here. So there we can see here credential WireShark student. WireShark student is the username and the password is the network. So basically it's already allow the user to go into the page there. So that's why the new field is also basic and we call it the what we can see here. So basically that is for the uh basically that is for the WireShark Lab 2. So from what I can learn from this Lab 2 is that I learned that this what is the how the basic HTTP GET response interaction is, what is the HTTP conditioner GET response interaction is, retrieving long document, and how uh, the HTML document is retrieved by embedded object, the server response, and the authentication, which mean the password, the security here. So that is what I learned for the lab 2 here. So thank you.